The American wilderness was a fierce domain. A land with not many to no laws. Implied circumstances were frequently taken care of in dim and unordinary ways. Viciousness was regularly a first resort. At different occasions, it was the normal world that represented the greatest risk to human endurance. Nature on the wilderness was tremendous and reprehensible. Here are 3 of the grisliest stories from the American wilderness. History number 1. John Colter and the Human Hunt. John Colter, a legend of the American outskirts, went through the greater part of his time on Earth in the wild. In 1803, he joined the Lewis and Clark expedition, where he picked up prestige as probably the best tracker and scouts. After the undertaking, Colter worked for the Missouri Fur Company and was sent on exploring missions to caution Native American clans that the organization was making a beeline for them and needed to exchange. He is to a great extent thought to be the main individual to see Jackson Hole and Yellowstone Lake. Individuals later named Yellowstone and close-by locales as Colter's Hell, in reference to his depictions of the gurgling water and other geothermal action for which the region is known. Sources shift regarding the land meaning of Colter's Hell. In 1809, Colter was caught by Blackfoot warriors. They stripped him exposed and took everything from him before saying that he was allowed to leave. Colter couldn't accept his amazing good fortune until he understood that he had quite recently become piece of a shocking round of human chasing. For sport, the warriors pursued him. In spite of the fact that he evaded the greater part of them, he had to confront one, executing the man with his own lance before taking his cover and stowing away in a stream to dodge the others. Throughout the following 11 days, Colter made the exhausting 320-kilometer (200 miles) venture back to Progress. He ate bark and roots and had just the cover for warmth. Having endured this trial, he chose to come back to human advancement and carry on with a calmer life. History number 2. The shooting of David Lunt. One night in January 1877, David Lunt was in a cantina in the outskirts town of Deadwood, South Dakota, when an angered, inebriated man entered. As the marshal of the town endeavored to quiet him, the alcoholic coincidentally discharged his gun into Lunt's head. For a great many people, a shot to the head would be the end. Be that as it may. Not for David Lunt. He tranquilly got up, left the bar, and returned home as spectators ogled at the projectile gap in his mind. Lunt proceeded with day-by-day life and appeared to have no agony. Nonetheless, following 2 months, he started to grumble of compounding cerebral pains. A brief time frame later, Lunt passed on. The post-mortem uncovered that the slug had made a terminal boil structure in his mind. History number 3. The tragedy of the Donner Party. The tale of the Donner Party is an astonishing story of torment, starvation, and human flesh consumption. In 1846, a gathering of 89 individuals, drove by Jacob and George Donner, left Springfield, Illinois, to begin another life in California. During the underlying piece of the excursion, individuals from the Paiute clan took or slaughtered a large number of the gathering's cows. Be that as it may, this was just the beginning of their difficulties. Endeavors to discover alternate routes cost the gathering important time. By October, they despite everything had not made it over the Sierra Nevada mountain range to the overall well-being of California. After substantial snowfall obstructed the go over the mountains, the Donner Party had to set up camp at Truckee Lake and hold up out the severe winter, as the winter delayed and the provisions of nourishment dwindled. Starvation and lack of healthy sustenance set in. The individuals who wished to endure had to turn to savagery by eating their dead buddies. A gathering of less than 20 men, ladies, and kids, known as the Melancholy Hope, molded temporary snowshoes and set out from the camp to discover help. Just a couple of made it to the opposite side of the mountains. The rest of the individuals from the gathering kicked the bucket of hypothermia, fatigue, or starvation. The assortments of the individuals who had fallen were utilized to take care of the survivors. It was not until April 1847 that the last survivor at Truckee Lake was protected. At this point, less than 50 of the first gathering were as yet alive.